Hello and welcome. You're watching Ask Profit on NETV Profit, and I'm your host Himakshi Bahugna. Along with me is my co-host Malika Mishra, and together we'll be taking up all your stock-related queries. So you can WhatsApp us or you can directly call us. Both the numbers are flashing on your screens right now, viewers. And on the show, we are being joined by Vikas Jain of Reliance Securities on the technicals. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Short-term view on it, Vikas, what do you have to say? How is all cargo logistics faring on the charts?
If you look at the stock has witnessed some amount of corrective action, and we believe there should be some amount of rebound near to those 44.5, 45 levels. That would be again a good opportunity to exit the stock.
Right. Let's go across to our second query.
More like at these levels. So, Vikas, coming straight to you, is it advisable for him to stay invested in it for the next 6 months?
Yeah, he should continue to stay put at the current levels, because if you look at the structure has turned pretty weak last quarter itself. But from there, we have witnessed a good corrective action near to those highs of around 1,000 to 740, 750. Now, with the budgeting forecast, we could expect some amount of positive commentary in terms of railways, and plus the stock technically is also trading near to its 5200 week average support. So we believe we should continue to hold on. In fact, if he's looking to add more, he can add more at current levels and exit the proceeds what he has bought at lower near to those 835, 850, which is the short-term band.
Right, so it's a hold on IRCTC. On that note, let's go across to our... And Vikas, what is your technical analysis of IOL Chemicals?
So if you look at the stock has been trending in a very narrow range between 340 odd on the downside and 470, 480 on the higher side. Now again it has moved lower near to the lower part of the range, and 330 to 340 is a good support area from where it has witnessed good amount of bounce back twice or thrice over the last 1 year. So risk reward is in the favor of launch. He can continue to hold on. On the higher side, the band of averages is at around 410 to 420, where it would take some amount of exit.
All right, so that's a view coming in on IOL Chemicals. Now we have what's
Tata Motors is fundamentally a very strong company, but what is the reason of the weakness that we can see on the charts at the moment?
So the weakness got persist from, no doubt, as you commented, from August. So it got petered out when the announcement came in of the demerger near to those 1100 odd rupees. And since then, we have seen a vertical fall for the last 6.5 months. So now the stock is at near to the crucial support area of 34-month average of 700 odd levels. And the demerger is expected in the first quarter of FY26, so between April to June. So we believe the bottom-up formation has been taken in place at the counter. He can add in at current levels, because the demerger benefit would again give some amount of positive news flow into the company, and some re-rating could happen on the higher side. So he can add at current levels and continue to hold the previous investment.
all right, so that's a view coming in on Tata Motors, Horizon. So Vikas, I'm coming straight to you for the short term. What's your take on Solar Industries?
The short-term structure looks pretty weak. We believe the stock could further correct near to those 8,500, 8,400 odd levels. Because if it has looked at, the stock had consistently moved and doubled over the last 1.5 years from 4,000 odd levels to a high of around 12,000. And now it is into the corrective actions. The first baseline of support comes near to 8,500, which is a good 8.5-10% correction from current levels. So either he should exit on rallies, or he should continue to exit at even current levels if it feels so.
So that's a view for the short term. And Mahesh, what do you have to say?
Nitin Spinners is one of the leading manufacturers of cotton yarn in India. And Srini invested in this particular counter 1,700 shares based on the financials of the company. He says that the financials are strong enough, they motivated that purchase. But however, given the current market scenario, he's confused if he should currently exit or still hold on to this particular counter. Please let us know what you think.
Mr. Srini is already in loss, and if you look at this stock has some support area near to 345, 350 levels. The budget is in around the corner. That what our expectations building up with respect to the textile sector, with respect to China plus one benefit, with respect to Bangladesh PSO. So some amount of positive news flow into the sector could see some amount of more re-rating. So he can continue to hold on. If he wishes to so, he can keep a trailing stop of around 351, 349 on the downside. and keep trail the up move. So if it moves higher, then the stock first immediate target would be near to 418 to 420, which is the band of averages and its purchase price too.
Right. So that's the view coming in by Vic.
To Vikas. Vikas, our viewer, has invested in Birla Corporation and the stock has fallen close to 2.5% today intraday and has been also falling consistently on the charts in the past 6 months, which has been his time, since his investment time. So would you recommend him to sell his shares, because the current price of this particular stock is 1,142 or thereabouts, and he bought them at 1,527 rupees. So do you see the price taking a U-turn anytime soon?
Some amount of bounce back cannot be ruled out, because if you look at the whole cement space is outperforming the broader markets. So if you look at in terms of UltraTech Cement, Heidelberg Cement, Star Cement, Sagar Cement, all these sectors stocks have been doing pretty well. So Birla Top also it would witness some amount of positive up move. So the risk reward ratio is favorable at current levels, so we should continue to hold on. We believe the first band of average crossover of 1185, 1195 on the higher side would eventually move to 1350, 1400, because if you look at the stock moves around, whenever it moves, it gives a sharp knee-jerk up move. So it should continue to hold on. The risk reward is in favor of longs.
All right, so that's a view coming in. Now with that, we have so Vikas, considering the Q3 results, what do you have to suggest on CDSL? Is it a good counter to hold for short term?
No doubt the results have been pretty strong, but the valuations are not been at the higher end of the range. So if you look at the valuations have taken a beating in the January expiry across all these new age companies. So CDSL is also one of them. CDSL got entered into the F&O basket, and since then we have seen consistent amount of selling. So some more corrective action cannot be ruled out. The stock may test near to the lower band of near to 1240, 1250 odd levels. So we believe there could be some more pain into the stock.
You're suggesting a sell on the counter?
Maybe it would wait for some bounce back near to 1430, 1450, because it's completely oversold. So any bounce back in the markets over the next few days, either during the budget or post budget. So 1440, 1450 should be an ideal point to sell.
Okay. And now we have, Vikas, I'll take this question to you. Harsh has bought 600 shares of Ola Electric 8 months ago. And since the past 1 year, the stock per se has been pretty weak on the charts as well. What would your suggestion to Harsh be? Should he hold on to his shares for the next 8 months?
So if he wishes to hold for the next 8 months, he can continue to hold, but I would not advise to add more, because if you look at the stock has not witnessed any major amount of bounce back. Again, the stock witnessed from the higher levels, and the way the news flow continues to remain negative in terms of Ola Electric with respect to its monthly sales numbers, with respect to from number 1 position to number 3rd position. So the stock would face more headwinds over the next few quarters. So once the fundamentals improve in line with the overall sector, then you should look at it. Otherwise, you should continue to avoid.
All right, so that's a view coming in on Ola Electric. And with that, we'll have to slip into a short break. Viewers, keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp. I'd like both the technical and fundamental view on it. First, coming to you, Vikas, how is Kaynes Tech faring on the charts?
Look at all these new age companies which had a substantial good run over the last 1.5 years are witnessing huge amount of profit booking. So we believe the stock will face further headwinds and further corrective action, because the P multiples also doesn't support through, and we are seeing some amount of sharp unwinding into these names. So the stock would see further corrective action of near to 4,700, 4,800. So another 10 to 12% cannot be ruled out from current levels, so it's better to avoid.
Any other suggestion then?
So look at private banks and cement sector looks pretty promising at current levels. So these are the sectors to invest into with a medium-term perspective.
All right. And Mahesh, what?
And Vikas, could I also quickly know your, analysis of this?
So the stock lets the listing history pretty short. So we believe the stock has a good amount of fancy and it declined from the highs of around 1250 to 1300 levels. And we believe it's now trading to multi-week, multi-month low. So we expect the stock to retrace back near to below the listing price of near to those 800, 820. So another 15 to 18% correction cannot be ruled out. So it's better to avoid or sell.
Okay, so that's a view coming in on Premier Energy. Guys, do you have the same view on NTPC Green for short term?
So the listing period is pretty short and we have witnessed good amount of upmove. So some bounce cannot be ruled out from current levels when we expect that the stock would see some amount of upmove near 215, 117. So near to that particular range, you can exit the stock.
Okay, and now we have Chaitanya, yet another call from Chennai. Good evening, Chaitanya.
All right. And Vikas, although the questions are queries which are coming on our show are all long-term queries, but I would still want to take your view on the same. Paytm for short-term, how is it faring on the charts?
We believe the stock would see some more headwinds and corrective action because it has broken its 100-day average, which has been sustaining through. And as we have been witnessing and discussing that these new age companies would face further headwinds. So the stock can see further slide near to 680, 700, which is the 200-day average. So we expect another 8 to 10% correction into the stock.
Okay. And now we have, and let's take your query. As you said, you want both fundamental and technical queries. So I'll start with technical query here first. Vikas, what is your reading of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories? And just a while back, we were talking about this particular space. Please tell us what you think. And should he book his profits already?
Indeed, it would continue to hold on because the stock has witnessed good amount of corrective action from the highs of around 1350 or 1400 levels to 1200. And the way the investor wants to invest, selling Dr. Reddy to Marksans Pharma or Rainbow Medical. So instead of investing into this small cap or mid cap names, Dr. Reddy being a preferred large cap in the pharma space. So that looks pretty much more attractive compared to the names what we discussed. So we can continue to remain invested at this level and wait for some amount of exit near to 1330, 1350. So it's a hold at current levels.
All right. And I would just want to ask you both that if you had to pick one stock out of all these queries that we had today, so which one would you pick and give 3 reasons for it? Coming to you, Vikas, what do you have to say?
So if you look at the banking sector, looks pretty attractive because if you look banking, HDFC Bank has witnessed a good corrective action from the highs of around 1800 odd levels. And now at the current level of 1620, 1630, risk reward ratio is favorable, 10 to 12% correction in a large cap stock. So we believe the stock would again regain its up move and move higher near to 1800 odd. And from the mid cap side, we believe another stock from the private banking space, RBL Bank looks attractive. Post the numbers, again the stock is near to its previous time, the fall of near to those 145, 150 levels. So RBL Bank also looks pretty promising.
Okay, and Mahesh, and with that, I'm afraid that we are running out of time. But thank you so much, Mahesh and Vikas, for being on the show with us and helping our viewers with their queries. It's always a pleasure having you both. And viewers, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Ask Profit. Stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more news and updates.